I am convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Poco F2 is coming, and I think these are going to be the specs on it. Hey, my name is Mitchell. If you're new to my channel, I make videos about the tech I use, and before we can start talking about the Poco F2, I want to thank everyone that uses my affiliate links. Without your continued and added support, we really couldn't keep this channel going. Go ahead, check out my website. It's got tons of written articles and stuff kind of like this on it, as well as my Telegram community, which is a great place to interact with people and kind of share ideas. People ask for videos, and I really love interacting with everyone on there. Okay, enough talking, let's just hop into this. Now, the thing that really set the Pocophone F1 apart from the pack last year was its price in combination with its specs. And it was aimed kind of clearly at OnePlus. It had the older style notch, it had top tier specs, it had kind of a cheap build, and most importantly, it had the same IMX363 sensor. Now, for the Indian release of the OnePlus 7 Pro, Xiaomi has really stepped up their game with Redmi, and they've introduced the Redmi K20 Pro. But I don't think that the Redmi K20 Pro is going to be making an international release because they're going to be releasing this Poco F2. Now, the Poco F2, there's been a variety of kind of rumors and leaks about it, but I'm gonna just purely approach this from the most kind of business-minded, what makes sense standpoint possible. So if we look at Xiaomi, Redmi's lineup of phones, what device has a not great, but kind of acceptable build quality that Xiaomi could reuse some of the tooling for? The Redmi Note 7, Redmi Note 7 Pro. It's got the glass on the front and glass on the back with a plastic frame. Would this be acceptable for a budget phone with a Snapdragon 855? Yes, it would. Okay, so let's take the body from the Redmi Note 7 Pro, either that exact body or maybe just make the entire back of it plastic. Now for cameras, now the camera on the Redmi Note 7 Pro is already the IMX586, which is the 48 megapixel main snapper on this device, being the K20 Pro. It's the main snapper on the Mi 9. It's the main snapper on, and by snapper I mean camera, on the OnePlus 7 and OnePlus 7 Pro. So it's going to have that 48 megapixels with pixel binning and smart algorithms. So the Redmi Note 7 Pro has that. Let's take that camera. Now the regular OnePlus 7 also has a telephoto camera. So are we going to see the wide from the Mi 9 SE and the K20 Pro? Probably not. My guess is we're going to see the IMX586 and then a telephoto lens to go toe-to-toe with what we have on the OnePlus. We might get a surprise from Xiaomi, Redmi, Poco, and get a ultra-wide along with the normal sensor, but I think we'll probably get the telephoto one just so that they can have identical specs to the OnePlus 7. Now, in regards to storage, I think it's going to come in a couple different variants. We're going to have the 664 with micro SD. We're going to have the 6128 with micro SD. We're going to have an 8128, and then we're going to have an 8256, just like what we had on the Poco F1. I think that a lot of people are going to be happy to have the SD card or the hybrid slim tray. And I think that that's going to be kind of the way that they get this device in at such a low starting point, because really 64 gigs of unexpandable storage is really pushing it close. Having the SD card slot does a lot to bring the price or the starting price down for most people. Next is going to be the battery. The Redmi Note 7 and Note 7 Pro already have a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, so we're probably going to see a 4,000 milliamp hour battery on the Poco F2. Now the screen, this has been something that I've been thinking long and hard about, and I think we're going to get another LCD panel on the Poco F2. Is it going to be the same panel that's on the Note 7 and Note 7 Pro? I don't know. Maybe. I would hazard to say that there is probably a really good chance that we get either an identical panel or a slightly better panel than what we have on the Redmi Note 7 and Note 7 Pro. Maybe identical in regards to color accuracy, but higher brightness is always a potential. I don't see Xiaomi using an OLED panel or the OLED panel that they have on the Xiaomi Mi 9 for the Poco F2, simply because I think that this is going to retain the rear-mounted fingerprint scanner and not opt for an in-display fingerprint scanner. I think that having that as an option is going to be really, really important to delineate that from the Mi 9, right? Because it's going to have similar specs to a Mi 9. It's going to have worse build quality, worse camera, and no in-display fingerprint scanner. The Redmi Note 7 Pro has a headphone jack, so I think that the Poco F2 will still have a headphone jack. And for a lot of their market, that still makes sense. Now, something that I've been thinking about, I'm not sure what they're going to do with this, is on the Poco F1, they had their liquid vapor chamber, or their version of liquid cooling on a smartphone. And whether or not we're going to be seeing this on the Poco F2, I would think that we would see something like this. I don't know if we're going to see the same graphite cooling, which is kind of bullshit that we have on the Redmi K20 Pro, but I think on the Pocophone F2, we definitely will. In regards to the bezel and screen size to body ratio, I think it's going to be really similar to that of the Redmi Note 7 Pro. And for storage, I don't think we're going to see UFS 3.0 or UFS 3.1 storage on it. Although as that comes down in price throughout this year, we might end up seeing that on the device, and it might give Poco another kind of the speed you need type of marketing push that they need to compete with OnePlus, or at least OnePlus 7. So overall, I think that the Poco F2 is stacking up to be a good budget device, and I think that Xiaomi is going to be introducing this in markets outside of India, possibly India, but I think outside of India for around the $300 mark. I think that right now they're holding off on releasing it because they have the K20 and K20 Pro grabbing headlines. And for them, they can go ahead and get the Snapdragon 855s at a lower price as the year kind of comes towards an end. We always see the new Snapdragon processors released around Q4, so they get a deal on them towards the middle of Q3, which brings me to talking about when this phone's going to be getting released. And I would say August, September, again, like the Poco F1 was last year. I don't see Xiaomi needing a reason to be launching 2 flagships per year, or 2 devices that kind of compete with each other in the same markets. And I see that the Poco F2 will go to all of the same markets as the Mi 9 is already. This way they can offer their Snapdragon 855 at a really, really low price without threatening the sales of their premium device for people that want that better overall user experience. But really what I want to know is, what do you guys think about this? And let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys want to see my reviews of the Redmi K20 Pro, I'll go ahead and have them right next to the K20 Pro. If you guys want to see reviews of the Poco F1, I'll have them right here. If you want to subscribe, go ahead, hit the subscribe button right by my nose. And till next time, it's been Mitchell. See you soon.